Hello, my name is Angela Timberman. For some reason, my Zoom screen is not working, but you don't want to see my face anyway. You want to see these two lovely creatures instead. Once again, I've been given the privilege to have an interview, or better than that, a conversation with part of the production team for another play that is running at the Jungle Theater. I should mention that I'm a member of the Jungle's artistic cohort, and this particular play is a co-production between Theater Moo and Jungle Theater. It is Lauren Yee's play, Cambodian Rock Band. And I'm here with Sarah Bahr, and I'm here with Khamphian Vang. And I would love it if you both would tell me, what part did you play in getting this thing up and running?
Well, my name is Khamphian Vang. I was costume designer on Cambodia Rock Band.
Awesome.
And I was the costume director, which is a role that is new to Jungle Theater. And it is a supportive role to the designer, like a technical director is supportive to a scenic designer, or a master electrician is supportive to a lighting designer. And they help implement the design on the production side, just support Khamphian to make her vision come true.
I loved how music played such a big part in the play. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure, Sarah, you can jump in anytime too. But in my research, when I was kind of looking into that time period and into Cambodia, there was a lot of history with music. There's like an explosion of music and arts, and there's a lot of Western influence during that time. And really, I think the music really had a huge impact on, I think, the people. They kind of took this genre of music, like this rock, psychedelic rock that was popular at the time, and really made it their own. And there was a lot of young people coming up that were, really kind of forming kind of this new, I guess there's a culture too, music culture that came up.
Yeah,
yes.
Like the play plays homage to this kind of music movement in the early 70s in Cambodia that was really lost during the Khmer Rouge. So a lot of people might not know about the kind of 70s Cambodian rock music, which brings so much excitement to the design, where we are in 2008 with the father and daughter, and then we kind of flash back to the 1970s to experience the music and the band and the fashion, which is I think just like the really fun challenge of producing the show.
I was going to ask about that. What were the challenges and what were the joys of designing for that period?
There was a lot of joy. Love the 70s. It was, this period of time that was all about like color and print and, just kind of this freedom in fashion that I really loved and tried to incorporate into the design of the show.
Some of the challenges was like sourcing, finding vintage clothing, or finding something that's modern and altering it. And it was really fun working with Khamphian in her vision of kind of making a lot of alterations to clothing to feel like it's more kind of like DIY, like these characters maybe embellish their own costumes with patchworking or fringe. And it's always the challenge of like, where do you find costumes, or which ones do you build? But it's also like kind of the fun and the joy of every project's different.
How do you begin your process, Khamphian?
First, I think about color. What kind of color story I want to tell, And I think from there, just researching the time period, just really, understanding what that era was for this particular group of people, because the 70s fashion, I mean, if you go to Europe or US or, different parts of the world, it might look different. And so wanting to stay true to the people of that time and their experience. Yeah, that's kind of where I start. And then I start to think about the character, like what would this character wear? While also adding elements of drama and, because it is theater. So
Yes, I loved the dress that Danielle wore. She plays, was it Neri? Was that the character's name? The daughter?
yes.
Yeah, that green floral dress with was it pink fringe, if I remember right?
Mm-hmm.
I loved that dress. Yeah, I really, that was one that stuck out for me. I really loved that one. What was your favorite costume?
Oh, I also love that one too.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun. And I think I really loved some of the items that we built, like the bell bottom for
Oh yeah.
Maida, and who was on keyboard, and one of the shirts for Lang during the encore. Like we sourced kind of textiles, local textiles here to build those items.
Right. Right. So, what part of the play, and I'll let each of you have a moment to talk about this, what part of the play resonated the most for you? Or maybe if you don't want to answer that question, what was your favorite part of the play? Or you can answer both.
I think for me, it's the story of where Chum, who's the father, it's familiar to me because it's similar to my own experience with my parents, story coming to the US from Thailand, so it's a similar story, coming to the US as a refugee, and, just that the parent trying to protect, the daughter from, or Neri from knowing that history. And, in a lot of ways, I feel like my parents also did that. Because it's like, okay, there's a better life here, there's more opportunity here. We don't have to think about that, what happened anymore.
Yeah. Sarah, how did you feel?
Well, I mean, I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah.
So I think like just how the music helped tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
And we move through the show, there's moments of a rock band. So like the audience feels like they're watching a band perform in concert. And I think the mood and progression of the songs really helped tell the story emotionally through the music and the lighting design, enhancing that kind of experience when it feels like a really big rock show or something a little more intimate. I really loved that. And that's like a huge collaboration of like the artistic and design team to make that impactful.
Yes. And I love, as an audience member, looking at your work and the actors' work and the other designers and Lily Tongue Crystal, the director's vision. What I loved about Lauren's play was how joy and humor can be side by side in art or in a theater piece. It can sit right next to brutality and horror, and because that's how real life is, and that's something that I really, really, really loved about the play. It took away from the play, and without giving too much away, as you both say. And what do you hope people take away from this play? One last question. What do you hope they take away from this play?
Yeah, I think like better, perspective of another culture. It was very eye-opening for me to do a lot of the research and learn so much more about Cambodia than I ever, had before. And like have fun experiencing something that's very a piece of history that's very traumatic. I think Lauren Yee makes a very wonderful experience for the audience to take in a really difficult story.
Yes, I enjoyed the challenge of that as an audience member. Not enjoyed, that's the wrong word. I felt, well, I think being challenged is important as a theater audience. I think it's maybe one of the most important things that theater should do. Khamphian, what's your take? What do you want people to take away?
I think a lot of what Sarah said too, just kind of the, gaining a new perspective, hearing different stories, knowing or understanding or being exposed to like different voices, that maybe we haven't heard before. And I also learned a lot about Cambodia during this researching and just working on the play. And, I hope it encourages people just to also do their own research, to want to kind of dive into different experiences and learn about where people come from. So I hope that, encourages people to do that.
I do too. Thank you both for talking with me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.